Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. And quantum physics, the highest science, is proving this today. Hi, welcome to Two Different Worlds, our series. I'm Carl Stedmond, and my co-host, Alan Fisher, who's a retired judge and lawyer, come from two completely different worlds. I'm a martial arts instructor, self-empowerment coach and singer. I'm probably, from my accent you can tell, I'm from England, and we've led two completely different lives, but we come together in this one most important thing, the knowing of who we are in our essence. I'd like to welcome Alan Fisher.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
Well, today we're going to talk about our shift in consciousness. We've done a video about that, but we didn't go into details, and we've had lots of questions of what exactly do we mean by our shift in consciousness. So today we're going to talk about how we got to our shift, or some people might call it an awakening, but it's a different way of being.
Yeah, and if it can happen to us, two heterosexual ordinary blokes, to use your language,
It can happen to anyone.
and it's really not anything that you can do. It's more of allowing this experience to come over, because it's already in you. It's already present in every man, woman, and child on earth. This life force that we're talking about.
Absolutely. We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes. For me, if you want me to go first, I was about 35 years old. I had been a disc jockey. I was in law school. I was a lawyer and eventually a judge. But I attended this chiropractic gathering. I had dealt with certain chiropractors in law, and they invited me for this chiropractic thing. I didn't know what I was doing there, but I saw everybody was happy, everybody was huggy, and there were speakers. I was listening all day, and I was wondering, what were they talking about? Just like you're probably wondering what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, I had an epiphany, an awakening, whatever you want to call it, and I realized they were talking about life. They weren't selling anything, they were talking about life. And I realized, oh yeah, that's in me, that's in the flowers, that's in the trees, that's in everything. And we are created in the image and likeness. It's in us. I don't know how to create skin or eyes or ears, but that's what we are. We are life in form, spirit in form, having a human experience.
Absolutely.
How about you and your experience?
Well, mine started later in life, actually. To me, it happened when I was around the age of 46. And I'd come to Canada in 1988, and I started my own dojo, martial arts club, and I was fanatical. I trained like 6 days a week, I had 1 day's rest, and I was into weight training, bodybuilding, martial arts, karate, kickboxing, and I was absolutely fanatical. I used to teach about 6-7 classes, 6 days a week. I was in great shape. I was living the life of Larry, whoever Larry is. But I was leading a fantastic life. And I had my Dodge Stealth, I had my Jeep Cherokee, both insured. And depending on what the weather was like, which one I would take out that day, their lovely home. I was married at the time. And life was fabulous, you know. Life was going great. And then all of a sudden, I started to get a little sort of tickles, I would say, that, maybe you need to do something different, because I was so happy in my life, but then I lost it all. Within 6 months, I got divorced, my father died, I broke my ankle, I lost my club, I lost my home, and it was what people might call hell. Well, I know there's a lot of people going through hard times right now, but I lost everything within a very short period of time. I even lost all my possessions in storage because I didn't have anywhere to live. I lived with my mum in a one-bedroom apartment. I had to pull my bed out of the cupboard every day for 2 years. And I lost all my stuff in storage. I couldn't afford to pay. So I lost all my memories, I lost all my photographs, all my videos, because I had my martial arts club then for 20 years. And I'd stored up a lot of things I had done in life with my students and everything, my own personal belongings and photographs of family.
Did you commit suicide?
Do you know what, Alan? I was close to it. I was very, very close to suicide. And then I had a mystical experience, which we could probably talk about another time, but in the mystical experience, I felt something very deep. But a couple of things happened to me. One simple thing was, one day I come out of my house and the eviction notice was on my door. I was going to lose my home. And at that moment, I looked at the notice and then I could smell flowers. I could really smell the flowers. And I looked down, I had a flower bed there, and it was like, I looked up at the sky was blue, the clouds were floating by. And I felt the most incredible, joyful, peaceful experience I've ever had in my life. And I knew I was losing everything. So that was a part of the shift. And then I discovered the amazing Eckhart Tolle. And when you talk about suicide, I was close to suicide when I read The Power of Now. And more importantly, I watched him on a video because his energy when he speaks. And I remember at the point when I was watching it, I had suicidal thoughts. Half an hour after watching this video, I'd shifted greatly. I had a lot of shifts around that time, you know. And basically, what Eckhart was saying, it was the thoughts that were putting me in this feeling, not the situation. It was what I was thinking about that situation. And so from that moment on, I started to observe my thoughts more and more. I turned them right down, and that changed my life forever, Alan. So from that moment on, my life, I did lose everything, and had a couple of tough years, as I said, living with my mum. But I started to understand that this shift or this essence that all the great ones have spoke about is within us all, and we can get out of our own way by our thoughts and by judgments and things like that. And my life changed forever. So that's how mine happened.
What an extreme example of losing your life to find it. You lost your possessions, your material life, but you found your spiritual life and the essence within.
Yeah.
Magical.
Yeah. And also, mine made it a bit harder too. Besides losing them things, my father died, who I was very close to, and my marriage dissolved as well. So it all came at the same time, which was extremely powerful, you know. It was, but anyway, it was a blessing in disguise, Alan.
Hopefully nobody else has to go through that experience to awaken. I don't think you have to.
I don't think so, Alan. No, I don't think so. I think if you can become more aware, and I think one of the biggest things is, and you speak about it a lot, is that horizontal and the vertical plane.
Yes. At the horizontal level, which is where most people live and what we have been accustomed to and what they teach us about, you start out in school and then maybe a job and get married, have children, house, mortgage, a lot like you. And either at that point you can go on and die, or usually it's at adulthood, there can be an awakening.
Yeah.
There can be awakening to the vertical plane. And the vertical plane is an awareness of the present moment, of realizing that all the things that happened to you in the past are not you. Life is happening now. The future, the things that you worry about and imagine, are all imagination. Life is only present now, and I'll give you an example of that. You drink now, you blink now, You breathe now. Everything takes place now. So if you can come into that place where your body is, stay where your body is, bring your mind to where your body is, then it's a whole different ballgame. As Eckhart Tolle is saying, the power of now. So there's two steps. One is an awakening, an improvement in your own life, but then the second part is a realization that life is coming through you. So you not only have the physical strength, but also that power, that life force that is coming through you now and comes through when you sing, when you even do your martial arts, when you do your breathing. That's where the power is, spirit and form.
And the interesting thing about that is, and when you have the attitude of gratitude, and you let that flow through you, things come to you much, much easier. Life is not a struggle anymore. When you live in peace and happiness and laughter is a great energy, your life seems to flow, and things seem to flow through you and to you. Some people call it the law of attraction, but I think that the law of attraction, and when The Secret come out, it was all about material things. And if you start to think too much about that, well, it's like when you get to a point where you don't need anything. You truly don't need anything. When you're just at peace with who you are, things flow to you much easier.
Yeah. Not that you can manipulate spirit to get what you want, as you were saying. And it's not about material things. It's just about allowing life to come through you, and then for some magical reason, you're aligned with life. Everything does flow easier. You're attracted to people who share that, kindred spirits. Material things, whatever you need, come to you. And it's a lot easier than the struggle.
And Alan, you used a magical word, which is magical, because you are magical. We are magical. When we follow our heart, which is 5,000 times stronger, the magnetic energy than your brain, you follow your heart, you go for your dreams. It's like a barometer of what you really want. I've always loved to sing. I became a singer at the age of 46. And now I make as much money singing and I do with all the other things put together. So follow your heart. And because we have dormant forces within us that start to arise when you live in this way. Because we are magical. We're all meant for magical things, you know. And I teach this to the children in Montessori and my martial arts class. The champion is inside you. And when you start to live this way with joy and peace and laughter, things start to manifest in your life.
That would be wonderful, to raise our children that way, to give them this awareness, to give them this consciousness. So if it can happen to us,
it can happen to anyone.
Anyone, and then it'll be a wonderful world, Carl. That's your cue.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Take care, guys, and see you again soon.